So Brett Favre came out and said Davante Adams is really going to miss Aaron Rodgers. And my takeaway is, no, that's not true at all. Davante Adams is going to crush with Derek Carr and the Raiders. Aaron doesn't have a number one receiver on his team. Tampa's got like 3. Rams got a couple. And so the opposite of what Brett Favre is true. Now, and I think a big component to this is Derek Carr. And it's got to become a running joke on the show. I think it's obvious he's a top 10 quarterback. Just like I thought it was obvious. I never once thought it was controversial to say that Baker Mayfield was not talented enough to be a number one pick. I always said he was a franchise quarterback. I wouldn't draft him as a franchise quarterback, but he is a franchise quarterback. But he's not a number one pick. His size, his arm, his athletic ability, even his personality. He's not a number one pick. I don't know how that became controversial. It's not controversial. He's not. He's not close to an elite quarterback. But he's good enough to start in the league. And I also don't think saying Derek Carr is a top 10 quarterback, it's amazing how much pushback I get on it. I think it's obvious. Now, is it as obvious as Mahomes or Josh Allen is a top 10 quarterback? No. But I think a lot of it is because we have to see things for them to be true. And his size is okay. His mobility is okay. His arm is good. It's not great. And we like something to be unbelievable. I think his unbelievable ability is fourth quarter comebacks. I think he's very cool, very collected. He leads the NFL in fourth quarter comebacks. He does, Derek Carr, surrounded by mayhem the last 7 years. So I thought this morning, instead of just talking about this, and I always get all this pushback, I'm like, I would just tell you my top 10 quarterbacks in the league. I think it's fairly obvious. I haven't done this list, I don't think, in a long time, top 10 quarterbacks. I think Mahomes is the best. He has the highest passer rating in league history, and he's won Super Bowls. So, I mean, his come-from-behind game against Buffalo, that's very rare space. I think number 2 is actually more talented than him, but he hasn't won enough big games yet, Josh Allen. Highest passer rating in a single postseason last year. He's bigger than Mahomes. He's more mobile than Mahomes. I think he's a combination of Ben, Cam Newton, but better than both. Josh Allen's 2. I'd put Brady at 3 out of respect. He did lead the NFL in passing yards and has since he joined the Bucs. I think he's the best pre-snap quarterback, along with Peyton Manning in league history. Nobody is cooler late in games than Tom Brady. I'd put him 3. Aaron Rodgers, 4. Aaron's not very good in crisis. He doesn't have a lot of come-from-behind wins, considering how many years he's been in the league. But he's a back-to-back MVP. He looks different when he plays. He throws the most beautiful ball. He's wildly gifted. But he doesn't. He's not great trailing late, and he's not great in big games. I'd put Russell Wilson 5. I think he's going to crush. And the other thing about Russell Wilson, he's the only quarterback in the last 4 years in the NFL with a passer rating over 100. That was with a defensive coach and a shaky offensive line and a shaky defense. And he's it. Number 6 and 7 are Matt Stafford is number 6, and I put him ahead of Joe Burrow, who he beat in the championship game. Stafford had 50 touchdown passes last year, and then Burrow is amazing. Burrow led the NFL in completion percentage and yards per attempt last year with a bad O-line. That is unbelievable. Number 8, Justin Herbert. In the history of the NFL, no quarterback has thrown for as many yards or as many touchdowns in their first 2 years. Again, his first year was with a terrible offensive line. So, and a defensive coach is a fired coach. So, I'd put him 8. I put Kyler Murray 9, closest thing to Russell Wilson. He's gotten better every year, a total playmaker, one of the hardest guys to defend in the league. And then I would put 10, Derek Carr. And I'll just give you my Derek Carr numbers. Leads every quarterback in the NFL last 7 years, and this is with the Raiders and the shaky coaching and the chaos and bad O-lines. Leads every quarterback with 30 game-winning drives since entering the league in 2014. He had the highest completion percentage. All quarterbacks in the league last 4 years. So he's the most accurate quarterback, and he's the only quarterback last year, top 5 in passer yards and completion. I don't think it's controversial. I think it's obvious. In fact, there's arguments to be made. You can put him in the 8-9 spot because he completely carried a team and beat Justin Herbert head-to-head in a game where the winner goes to the playoffs. Now, I think He's more mobile than Matt Ryan, who you could argue is number 11. He's more accurate than Dak Prescott, you could argue is number 11. He can play from behind. I don't know if Lamar Jackson can. And Kirk Cousins, to me, shrinks in big games. So that's why he's 10 and they're not. But I don't think it's that. He moves better than Matt. He's more accurate than Dak. He's a prettier thrower of the football. That sort of matters. I think he plays brilliantly from behind. We don't know if Lamar does at this point. A lot of doubters on that. And Kirk Cousins has been the quarterback who we all think is talented, but shrinks in big spots. Derek's the opposite. Leads the NFL in fourth quarter comeback since he entered the league. So there you go. And when I say it, it's like the Baker argument. I don't think it's that difficult. I don't think it's that controversial. When you can carry a team that is in utter chaos to the playoffs in a good division, I don't know. I thought all the doubters, I think just people don't want to be wrong on it. And I think he went to Fresno State, and you didn't watch him in college, and he got hurt, and he hadn't made the playoffs a lot, and he doesn't jump off the screen with his size or his arm. Those are your 10 best in the sport. I don't think it's that arguable. I may have Stafford too low or Burrow too low. You can argue that. Herbert too high. That's your 10 best. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.